Welcome to Greek for a Week. I'm glad that you are looking at this week's video. And this week's video is chapter 1 of 1 Peter, verses 18 and 19. Again, we're still in the paragraph of 17 through 21, living in reverent fear. So like I said before, when I did verse 17 last week, again, this is part of a larger paragraph, which is 13 through 21, but I've decided to break it up this way. So verse 18, he says, knowing that you were not redeemed with perishable things like gold or silver from your futile ways, futile way of life, inherited from your forefathers, but, or instead, with the precious blood as lamb, unblemished and spotless of Christ. So as we look at a couple of things here, again, you know if you follow me here in the last couple of weeks, even the last couple of years potentially, you know that I gravitate toward conjunctions to prepositions because I see those as relational words. They bring together phrases, sometimes entire verses together, and I think we could go so far as to say they bring entire discourses together. So let me make note of just those things: conjunctions, prepositions, as well as a few nouns and adjectives as well. So here we have a verb, though. I want to touch base on this verb, dates, perfect active participle. So it is a verbal form participle, masculine nominative plural of the verb oida. It's probably a causal participle. So you would make note, really, you could say, because you know that you are not redeemed. So the that there, the hati, again, a conjunction. It's probably a hati of content, which is just simply stating what is it that you know. Well, you know that, and then here's the remaining information. The elutro thete, so this verb here, second person plural, aorist passive, indicative of lutrao, and here that's where he says you were not, so here's the negation, not redeemed. So here's our verb redeemed with perishable things. So here, ois, the ois ending is dative, probably a dative of means. So it's not with these perishable things, but it will be something else, and we'll get to that here in a moment. Then you have the two words here, gold or silver, probably datives of apposition to the perishable things. So they are further describing the perishable things. It's not those perishable things like, or for example, gold or silver. Again, from your futile way of life that you inherited from your forefathers. But, or strong contrast, but, or instead, what was it with? Another dative of means, timeo, with the precious blood. So that's the dative of means, but it's with the precious blood. Namely, it's that blood of Christ. But notice he has here a clause as a lamb who's perfect, or a lamb that is unblemished or spotless. That's noted as a nested phrase. So in other words, you really have the of Christ referencing back to, or referring back to, the haimati. So it's the precious blood of Christ, but there's a qualifying phrase that's nested in between there. So basically, it provides for us a way to better understand in a descriptive way what this precious blood is. It's as if it was a perfect lamb. Then you have the Christou, the of Christ, probably a possessive genitive. Well, whose blood is it? It's the blood of Christ. So Forbes, in his exegetical guide to the Greek New Testament, he contends here that it's probably delayed. In other words, the placement of Christou to the end of the verse, probably delayed till the end of the verse for emphasis, as well as to facilitate the agreement with the participles that are coming in verse 20. So, something to make note of, because when I look at verses 20 and 21 next week, we'll be able to better understand that agreement and that relationship between Christ and then the verses 20 and 21. Trust this has been helpful. Appreciate you following along. Verses 18 and 19 of chapter 1, 1 Peter. Have a great week.